He was just an interesting person, and we seemed to click. I've invested a lot in this relationship so far. And we do get along really well. I mean, if all this baggage was resolved and his story was true, I think that we would be a good couple.
Hello?
What's up, Seekers? Welcome back to another episode of Scamfish presented by socialcatfish.com.
He was nabbed in the Singapore airport for overstaying his visa, and now he's in the immigration system. So now they're asking for $11,000 in bail money to get him out.
On today's episode, we help a woman named Nancy who met a man named Sean on the dating app Silver Singles. Sean has promised to meet Nancy in person countless times, but something always seems to come up. Nancy has been funding this man's life for a year now. She's dished out over $25,000 to help pay Sean's taxes, supplies for an engineering contract in Singapore, and even helped bail him out of jail twice. Nancy is having doubts about this man being who he claims to be after running a reverse image search and finding a man's photos that looks identical to Sean's. Tune in as we help her find out the truth about this man she's been planning a future with. Real quick, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your comment and like could help stop someone from being scammed. Let's get into it.
Okay, hi Social Catfish, my name is Nancy. I like to rescue things on the weekend when I'm off. I've bought a few houses that were foreclosed and brought them back to their charming baseline. So that could be furniture, it could be houses in distress, or it could be something vintage that needs to come home with me. So I was married for about 15 years, was divorced after my husband went overseas and was stepping outside of our marriage. He was on Match.com. He listed that he was separated, living with friends. He was dating women in Costa Rica while he was there for business. So we split and divorced, and then I stayed in the U.S. to raise the children, and he stayed down in Costa Rica. You know, he was probably out catting around, and I was home with the kids believing his story. So, you know, my focus was the kids and making sure that they grew up as close to normal as possible. I sacrificed for everybody for decades, so I decided, me time. I have a stable career, I'm educated, I've got my teeth, I have all the prerequisites, and I'm by myself. So I haven't quite figured out why that should be. And I don't understand, why a bright, accomplished woman is not attractive.
After several unsuccessful relationships, Nancy finally met someone who caught her eye on the dating app Silver Singles.
His name is Sean. His photo caught my eye. He was very attractive, and he wrote well. I guess that's one of my prejudices. When someone is writing their profile and things are spelled wrong, it's an instant turnoff. That, couldn't you use spell check or double check or make sure that you wrote something intelligible before you posted it? So, his responses were well crafted. If I mention famous sayings by Winston Churchill or something, and someone can quip back at me, that's attractive. That, oh, okay, you know who Winston Churchill is and understand how important he was to history. Something like that. When you go home and you want to talk about your day, you want to talk to your intellectual equal. He was just an interesting person, and we seemed to click. He's very attractive, he works out, and he's got a good flair for dressing, the few pictures that I've seen. Looks like he was a little heavier at one point. He has a beard, silver hair, a graying beard, hazel eyes. He told me that his undergraduate degree was in civil engineering. He's 5'10", according to his passport. He's tells me that he's 54. He was born in 1969. He said he'd been cheated on. He caught his wife with someone else. He was born and raised in Sweden and came to the United States after his divorce. He wanted a fresh start. One of the positive things was he was reliable. If he said he was going to call at night or text at night, he did. And then he would text in the morning. So he talked about romantic things, rose petals and glass of wine and chocolate and things like that. And yes, he was funny, made me laugh with some of his observations, and also was observant about me that, you need to have some fun, which is true. You've missed fun for years, and I need to show you how to have fun again. Someone took the time to think about what makes me tick. Was refreshing. I love you and can't wait to see you and look forward to our forever beginning, things like that. We're not super young anymore, and let's not waste time, and not pushy per se, but didn't seem to want to dance around and play games. He felt like Prince Charming, but I was still cautious. Was he a prince or a fraud? I wasn't sure.
After a few weeks of chatting, Sean had checked all the boxes for Nancy, intellectually and romantically. The two planned to meet in person. However, plans were changed when Sean was offered an engineering contract in Singapore.
Landed a contract for a hotel in Singapore, a 600-room hotel with multiple ballrooms, and he was going to do the renovation. But there was a tight timeline between construction and interior work. He had $45,000 in the bank. He sent me a screenshot of the balance, but said that he was going to come up short and didn't want to miss out on this $3 million contract, and asked if I would float him a loan until he finished the job. He'd be paid, and he'd pay me right back. So I gave him $3,000, and he was going to pay me back the 1st of August. Okay, so next he's supposed to come home. He showed me a check that he was paid for the work that he did, and he sent me an itinerary to come home. So of course I was very excited. I bought balloons and cake and, was waiting for him to come home. And then lo and behold, there's a tax that he has to pay, a 15% tax on the $3 million that he earned. And he didn't have it. So he gave them what he did have. He sold his car, he told me, and he sold a watch, a Rolex watch that he had. And so then I ended up pitching in for the hotel and his food and things like that, so he could survive until he could pay off this debt. Well, he would say, can I have 250? Can I have 500? Can I have, can I have? Because I'm hungry. I feel faint. I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten in a day. And they're going to kick me out of the hotel. And where am I going to go?
Sean claimed he was going to work as hard as he could to finish his job after receiving the $3,000 from Nancy. Once he was done, he would be on his way back to the United States to start his life with her. But he ran into even more problems later down the line.
So he said he was detained. So he needed to be bailed out of detention. He needed to pay an attorney, and he wanted money for a flight home. Go on to the next chapter then. So after he got out of detention over not paying the tax completely, then in March he was coming home. He sent me another itinerary. All the bills were paid. He was going to come back. His money was in a check form that could be deposited in the United States. I watched the plane landing in the various airports, and I didn't hear from him. I didn't hear from him during the flights. I didn't hear from him after supposedly he landed.
Despite Nancy helping Sean out and raising the money for the 15% tax to get him out of Singapore, more problems arise as Sean gets detained for not fully paying the debt off in time.
Next thing, I get an email from his attorney saying that he was nabbed in the Singapore airport for overstaying his visa, and now he's in the immigration system. So now they're asking for $11,000 in bail money to get him out.
After sending $25,000 to get Sean home, Nancy became suspicious, and she started to look for answers. Her cousin was able to find a man's Instagram profile that looked identical to the photos of Sean, yet Nancy is still unsure if it is actually him.
Initially, the pictures that he used on his profile, I had a cousin in his 30s reverse look them up, and they belonged to an art dealer from Massachusetts. So, but then more recent pictures don't look like that person, so I'm not sure there. I would never hurt anybody that way, and I would hope that this person that I do like his company would not scheme to hurt me. He promised he'd never break my heart and he'd never hurt me. I'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt. And we do get along really well. I mean, if all this baggage was resolved and his story was true, I think that we would be a good couple.
These are some of the items that Nancy provided. Obviously, the main image that she sent was this one here.
I think one of the dead giveaways was the neck area, how it's blurred and it's not matching the
neckline
face.
of the shirt.
Yeah.
It's a little blurry.
Yeah. Something that we heard her say over and over is that she really enjoyed taking care of people, rescuing things. She enjoys rescuing furniture, animals. So it just sounds like she has a really big open heart and she loves to give and take care of people.
He's also molding to her preferences. He told her that he's 64 when obviously this man looks this man looks 45.
I've seen other images like this where there's a man behind bars. I think you've seen a few, Virginia. Yeah. We've dealt with a lot of romance scams that end up where their lover ends up behind bars, needs X amount of funds or money sent to them to release them from prison. So this is a story we hear often.
Nancy received tons of photoshopped items from Sean, but the biggest issue was, why did she still believe this could be true after finding this man's profile? We did some digging to make sure that, in fact, Curtis was the real man in these photos.
So I just talked to Nancy, very nice lady. She's talking to this guy named Sean. Mm-hmm. The thing is, he's in jail. And there's proof that he's in jail because she sent us pictures.
Of him in jail?
Yes.
I gotta see this. Okay,
yeah. Sean beat up in jail. Sean behind bars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, well, let's run a reverse image search. 37 exact matches.
No way. Oh, look.
Oh, these pictures are everywhere.
It's Photoshop within a Photoshop. Within a Photoshop. Oh, they're from stock images.
There it is. My stock. Let me see if I can actually find the man in the images.
Okay.
Oh, 254 matches. Look at this. There he is.
Ooh.
Here.
It is.
Oh, he's a photographer. That's the exact image that she sent us. There it is. Good work.
We were able to verify this profile, and it was in fact the real man. This person posing as a man named Sean had taken all the photos he sent to Nancy from Curtis's Instagram page. Curtis's Instagram profile was filled with images and videos of him speaking.
Morning everybody, Curtis here, Cusp Gallery, Newport, Rhode Island. I just want to say thanks everybody for your online support over the last several months. It's been a crazy, tough, long winter. Real quick, we plan on opening April 28th. However, we got to go to a town hall hearing on April 24th to find out if we're allowed to open on April 28th because we don't have any parking. So
We wanted to match up their voices, so Chris from our team gave Sean a call.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
Chris.
The Google subscriber you have called is not available.
Hello?
Hey, sweetheart. Did you receive the 11,000 I sent you? Talk to me.
All we got from Sean was a hello. But that was more than enough confirmation to understand that these two people were not the same.
Hello?
Stick around until the end. We'll sit down with Nancy and go over everything that we found.
So the passport Sean sent you is a fake and has been photoshopped.
Okay. That doesn't surprise me.
We'll even bring Curtis in on a call with Nancy to help her disconnect from Sean.
Nancy, first of all, I'm Curtis.
I've seen
Sorry.
you before.
Yeah, I'm sure. Just to give you a little background on what I've been contending with for the last 4 to 5 years.
If you've made it this far, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. We appreciate you so much.
It was now time to sit down with Nancy and go over everything that we had found.
When was the last time you spoke to Sean?
Yesterday. He's supposed to be in immigration detention, so just the one time when he got his phone back.
I just want to let you know that our team has done a bunch of research on all of the stuff that you sent us, and we have answers today.
Oh, it would be lovely if you would tell me that there's been a mistake and he's really a prince who's been locked away in a dungeon for quite a while, and you can be the gal to save him. That would be nice.
So let's just start it off with the passport. We actually found the exact passport. What we did was we ran a reverse image search on the actual image found within the passport, and the exact passport with all the information included that Sean presented to you was found on a fake passport website.
Okay.
So the passport Sean sent you is a fake and has been photoshopped.
Okay. That doesn't surprise me.
Since we're looking at Sean's images, we looked at the images from him being in prison.
Yes.
So we use reverse image search tools for the Sean in prison image, and we found matches right away. The real image shows another man behind bars, and basically this confirms that these images have been photoshopped and they're not real images.
Okay. So both of them, both the one where he's beaten up and the one in the orange jumpsuit.
Yes.
Okay.
These are like really common photos used in scams. We found images all over the internet. There's a link to a page where there's 50 or 60 of different photoshops of this photo.
Of the same exact. It's almost like they use it as like a background and then they put someone else's face.
Ah. Yeah, I noticed the hands were different. Like the hands were swollen in the one with the bars and the other one. Okay. Okay.
Up until this point, you could tell Nancy had already come to terms with Sean being a scammer. Now, the only thing that was left to do was to get her to understand that every photo she received from Sean were photos of Curtis.
We ran several image searches and we were able to locate the man in these photos. He's actually standing by right now.
Oh. Oh.
Would you like to meet him?
Sure. Which pictures?
The person in the images.
Okay. All right.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Curtis. How's it going?
Good. How are you? This is Brienne from Social Catfish.
Hi, good to see you.
And then we have Nancy in attendance.
Nancy, first of all, I'm Curtis.
I've seen
Sorry.
you before.
Yeah, I'm sure. Just to give you a little background on what I've been contending with for the last 4 to 5 years. I've reported to Instagram alone just under 450 accounts using my pictures.
Wow.
Instagram. I'm not on any other apps. I'm not on any dating apps. I'm not on Facebook, anything like that. Instagram's response to me is automated, and it says, "We do not see how these go against our community guidelines. If you want to see less of this person's profile, just block them or restrict them." So they're not doing their due diligence in protecting their users. It's gone so far as to me being called into 4 police stations in 4 different states. What that has done to me is it's pretty much driven my business into the ground, because it's compromised my integrity as an artist and a business owner. I can only wish that people do their due diligence on their end, but these scams have gotten so sophisticated, and this AI thing has been introduced. So I wish there was something I could do. Obviously, I keep reporting it to people that don't even care. So it was nice to get this phone call from Social Catfish, and I mean, not necessarily in this respect to you, but it's nice to put almost this video together that I can put on my social media. So it just began right before you called. Some woman said she's in Scotland. She's confused as if she's talking to the real Curtis or somebody else, and so on and so forth. So I told her to Google me, to Google my gallery, to Google me as an artist, and whatever. So,
well, this is the first time you've actually video chatted. Are you having like a moment where this is surreal?
No, because I'm familiar with Curtis, so it's not like I've never seen him before. So it just confirms that Sean is not Sean, and he's actually Curtis, and the pictures were a little different, but still the same person.
But they weren't different at all. Like those were of him though, right?
Yeah, I think so. But like I said, when you're in denial, even though I am an intelligent person, I look at the nose and think, well, that one's a little broader, and maybe the hair's a little different. I'm not sure. You start doubting yourself that, yeah, your mind sort of, I guess, endorses a picture that it wants to see.
Even after video chatting Curtis, we felt Nancy was still a bit confused on how Sean was able to steal these photos. Unfortunately, we live in a time where you can be anyone you want online. Social media sites are free to sign up for, and you can attach anyone's image to a profile.
Curtis, we appreciate you so much, man. We love when influencers and victims of this type of scam come forward and they're able to join us on these calls. I hope it helped you too, Nancy. And Curtis, like I said, we can't thank you enough.
All right, y'all. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
So what does the future hold for you and Sean?
Well, interestingly, I didn't hear from him today. So I wonder if the jig is up somehow. He's expecting me to go to the bank tomorrow and get some more money to bail him out of the immigration detention center. So I stalled and bought time, and so we'll see what his next move is. I'm not going to have a relationship with him, but it would be nice to know the end of the story, and then I can forward it to you.
Nancy joined support groups, filed reports with the FTC, and even knew about Curtis before even reaching out to us. We see this a lot with victims of romance scams. That 1% chance of a scammer being truthful about everything is sometimes all it takes to keep someone in a romance scam, no matter how many red flags they've come across.
I needed an advocate, and there were no resources that I could maneuver on my own to get to the answers. So I kept, I guess, trying to buy myself some time. And
Nancy has decided to block Sean. We stuck around to answer any more questions she had about Curtis, and we're confident she now understands what happened to her.
So I wanted an answer, and I got one. And again, I think that's very valuable, because I've learned about people that let this go on for years. And I did join a support group in the fall, and women got in trouble with the IRS. They took out loans, they maxed their credit cards. I mean, I was stupid, but I did limit my stupidity. And I can dig myself out of this, whereas, other people, I can work extra hours, and other people may not have that opportunity. So I think it's very valuable, because, like the services that I provide for people in need, they come to me, they're short of breath, they have chest pain, they have pneumonia, and I can use my expertise to help them. You're doing the same thing. You know, I'm coming to you saying, help. I'm in this situation and I don't know what to do and this isn't right and please help. And you used your expertise to help someone else.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. Remember, all of our new videos go out every Wednesday, so please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All right, Seekers, we'll see you guys next time.